Clause 3. Accepts or agrees to accept any part of the profits of the professional work of a person who is not a member of the institute, providing that nothing here contained shall be construed as prohibiting a member from entering into a profit sharing or other similar arrangements, including receiving any share, commission, or brokerage in the fee with a member of such professional body or other person having qualifications as is referred to in item 2 of this part. Just as a member cannot share his fees with a non-member, he is also not permitted to receive and share the fee of others except for sharing with member of such professional body or other person having such qualifications. Such a restriction is necessary so that CA, who is often required to engage or to recommend for engagement by his clients the services of the members of other professions, cannot share the fee received by other persons who are otherwise not permitted by the council in terms of provisions of this clause. Referral fee amongst members. It is not prohibited for a member in practice to charge a referral fee, being the fee obtained by a member in practice from another member in practice in relation to referring a client to him. Clause 4. Enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than CA in practice or such other person who is a member of any other professional body having such qualification as may be prescribed, including a resident who but for his residence abroad would be entitled to be registered as a member under clause 5 of subsection 1 of section 4, or whose qualification are recognized by the central government or the council for the purposes of permitting such partnerships. The council has prescribed a regulation 53A as discussed under clause 2 of this part and regulation 53B of Chartered Accountants Regulation 1988 for the persons qualified and the professional bodies. The regulation 53B prescribes the membership of following professional bodies for entering into partnership: company secretary, cost accountant, advocate, engineer, architect, actuary. A CA in practice is not permitted to enter into partnership with any person other than CA in practice or such other persons as may be prescribed by the council from time to time. The members may, however, take note of the fact that they cannot form multidisciplinary partnerships till such time that regulators of such other professionals also permit partnership with CAs, and guidelines in this regard are issued by the council. Clause number 5. Secures either through the services of a person who is not an employee of such a chartered accountant or who is not his partner, or by any means which are not open to a chartered accountant, any professional business, provided that nothing herein contained shall be construed as prohibiting any agreement permitted in terms of term 2, item 2, item 3, item 4 of this part. A man must stand erect and not to be kept erect by others is a dictum by Marcus Aurelius. This is which, though applicable for a man in every walk of life, is more so in the case of a professional life. A chartered accountant must seek work not through any agency but by the respect that he is able to command for his professional talent and skill, and by the confidence he is able to inspire by his reputation. All forms of canvassing on that account are regarded unethical and it is prohibited. The decision of the council under this clause is given below. A CA wrote various letters to office of different army canteens giving details about him and his experience, his partner and office of the norms for charging audit fee. He was held guilty for violation of clause 5 and 6. If it may further be noted that the acts of partners and employees of the firm towards securing professional work are subject to the provisions of clause 6 and 7 of part 1 of first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Clause number 6. Solicits clients or professional work either directly or indirectly by circular advertisement, personal communication or interview, or by any other means, provided that nothing herein contained shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting CA from applying or requesting for or inviting or securing professional work from another chartered accountant in practice, or member from responding to tender or inquiries issued by various users of professional services or organization from time to time, and securing professional work as a consequence. However, as per the guideline issued by the Council of the ICAI, a member of the institute in practice shall not respond to any tender issued by an organization or user of professional services in areas of services which are exclusively reserved for chartered accountants, such as audit and attestation services. However, such restrictions shall not be applicable where a minimum fee of the assignment is prescribed in the tender document itself, or where the areas are open to other professionals along with the chartered accountants. Further, keeping in view the broad purview of Clause 6 of Part 1 of the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, an advertisement of coaching, teaching activities by a member in practice may amount to indirect solicitation as well as solicitation by any other means, and may therefore be violative of the provisions of Clause 6 of Part 1 of the first schedule of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. In view of the above, such members are advised to abstain from advertising their association with coaching or teaching activities through hoardings, posters, banners, and by any other means, failing which may be liable for disciplinary action as per the provisions of CA Act 1949 and regulations and rules framed thereunder. However, it may be noted that subject to the above prohibition, any such members may put outside their coaching or teaching premises signboard mentioning the name of the coaching or teaching institute, contact details and subjects taught therein only. As regards the size and type of the signboard, the council guidelines as applicable to firms of CA would apply. It is an elaboration of the principle propounded in the preceding clause, enjoining that for securing professional work, the help of others should not be sought. This clause further enjoins on a member not to solicit professional work by means of advertisement, circular, personal communication or interview, or by any other means. The members should not adopt any indirect methods to adventure their professional practice with a view to gain publicity and thereby solicit clients of professional work. Such a restraint must be practiced so that members may maintain their independence of judgment and may be able to command the respect of their prospective clients. The professional work cannot be secured either by advertisement or by circulars or by solicitation. It can only be obtained by a member gradually building confidence in his ability and integrity. The service tendered by an accountant is of a personal and intimate nature, and its value can be appraised only by personal contact and experience. A public advertisement is likely to lead to an impression that the professional person is over anxious to win the confidence, which however will have the opposite effect. The satisfaction of clients would be the best advertisement, which would lead to other clients. Unabashed advertisement would affect the public esteem in which the profession is held and would act to the disadvantage of its members. An advertisement is not a key to success in the profession. It is the quality service which attracts and retains the clients. Some forms of soliciting work which the council has prohibited are as follows. Advertisement and note in the press. Members should not advertise for soliciting work or advertise in a manner which could be interpreted as soliciting or offering to undertake professional work. They are also not permitted to use the less open method of circulating letters to a small field of possible clients. Personal canvassing or canvassing for clients to a previous employer through the help of the employees are also not permitted. The exceptions to the above rule are: a member may request another chartered accountant in practice for professional work. A member may request another chartered accountant in practice for professional work. A member may advertise the changes in partnerships or dissolution of a firm or of any change in address of practice and telephone numbers. Such announcements should be limited to a bare statement of facts and consideration given to the appropriateness of the area of the newspaper or magazine and number of insertions. A member is also permitted to issue a classified advertisement in the journal or newsletter of the institute intended to give information for sharing professional work on assignment basis or for seeking partnership or salaried employment of an accountancy nature. provided it only contains the accountant's name, address or phone number, fax number, email ID, social networking sites of members. However, mere factual position of experience and area of specialization relevant to seek the response to the advertisement are permissible. B. Application for empanelment for allotment of audit and other professional work. The government departments, government companies, corporations, courts, cooperative societies and banks and other similar institutions prepare panels of chartered accountants for allotment of audit and other professional work. Where the existence of such a panel is within the knowledge of a member, he is free to write to the concerned organization with a request to place his name on the panel. However, it would not be proper for the chartered accountant to make roving enquiries by applying to any such organization for having his name included in any such panel. It is permissible to quote fee on enquiries being received from such bodies which maintain such panel. C. Responding to tenders, advertisements and circulars. It is not prohibited to the members to respond to tenders and requests made by the users of professional work. This is however subject to conditions that may be issued by the council from some time to time. The council has issued that a member of the institute in practice shall not respond to any tender issued by an organization or user of professional services in areas of service which are exclusively reserved for chartered accountants such as audit and attestation services. However, such restriction shall not be applicable where minimum fee of the assignment is prescribed in the tender document itself or where the areas are open to other professionals along with chartered accountants. The minimum fee for this purpose should be such that it commensurates with size, value, volume, manpower, requirement and nature of work. EMD and security deposit. The council is of the view that while interference with the practices prevailing for the requirement of deposit is not required, however, on having received a complaint or instance of exorbitant EMD deposit, the Ethical Standards Board may look into the matter on case-to-case basis. A cost sheet be maintained by members of the institute responding to tenders incorporating details of the cost being incurred wherein having regard to number of persons involved, hours to be spent, etc., so that the same may be called for by the institute for perusal. Publication of books, articles and presentation. It is not permissible for a member to mention in a book or an article published by him or a presentation made by him any professional attainments, whether of the member of the firm of chartered accountants with which he is associated. However, he may indicate in a book, article or presentation the designation CA as well as the name of the firm. E. Issue of greeting cards or invitation. The council does not approve of the issue of greeting cards or personal invitations by members indicating their professional designation, status and qualifications, etc. However, the council is of the view that the designation CA as well as the name of the firm may be used in greeting cards, invitations for marriages and religious ceremonies, and any invitations for opening or inauguration of office of the members, change in office premises and change in telephone numbers. Give me a minute, I'll drink water. I'm famished. Sabah. Haba. Office premises and change in telephone numbers, provided that such greeting cards or invitations, etc., are sent only to clients, relatives, and friends of the members concerned. F. Advertisement for silver, golden, platinum, or centenary celebration. It is not permitted to advertise the events organized by a firm of chartered accountants. However, considering the need of interpersonal socialization relationship of the members through such get-together occasions, the advertisement for silver, golden, diamond, platinum or centenary celebrations of CA firms may be published in newspapers or newsletters. Sponsoring activities. A member in practice or a firm of CAs is not permitted to sponsor an event. However, such member or firm may sponsor an event conducted by a program organizing unit of the C Institute, provided such event has the prior approval of continuing professional education, that is CPE Directorate of the ICAI. Members sponsoring activities relating to CSR may contain and mention their individual name with the prefix CA. However, the mention of the firm name or CA logo is not permitted. H. Advertisement of teaching, coaching activities by members. The members engaged in teaching, coaching activities while advertising such teaching or coaching activities shall comply with Regulation 190A of the Chartered Accountants Regulation, keeping in view of the broad purview of Clause 6 of Part 1 of First Schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. An advertisement of coaching, teaching activities by a member in practice may amount to indirect solicitation as well as solicitation by any other means, and may therefore be violation. In view of the above, such members are advised to abstain from advertising their association with coaching or teaching activities through hoardings, posting, banner, and by any other means, failing which they may be liable to disciplinary action as per the provisions of the Chartered Accountants Act. Subject to the above prohibition, such members may put outside their coaching or teaching premises a signboard mentioning the name of institute, contact details, subject taught therein only. As regards the size and type of the signboard, council guidelines as applicable to firm of chartered accountants would apply. With this, I'm finishing the episode. In the next episode, we'll start from sharing firm profile with prospective client.